Greetings, YouTube. LMS Tactical here. If you're offended by foul language, please get off the channel. You ain't gonna believe this shit. Man, we've talked about me waking up in terms of changing my belief system on a lot of things. But today was a humdinger, man. And I just gotta share it because you guys know I share everything with you and somebody might be able to get something out of this. I've let about an hour and a half, 2 hours go by just to calm down because I'm pissed. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for my country, man. So sit back and listen to a tale. And I'll play a little recording for you too, just a little bit, but it's got me so frustrated. Look how red I am. It's unbelievable. All right, little background. Okay, for those that don't know who I am, not that this is impressive, but just to give you background. And I don't expect better treatment because of my background, but you'll be able to tie this in. So I am retired LAPD, and after the LAPD, I was an agent with a OIG, an Inspector General in Washington D.C. I've worked with the FBI alongside the FBI, both as a police officer and as an agent. Worked with the Secret Service as an agent, not doing Secret Service work, but in a coordinated thing during the Obama inaugural ball. Just in terms of, I ran the security detail from the railroad side of the house. So, for many, many years, ever since I was a cop out in the 80s and 90s, the FBI's had a bad reputation with street cops. It was very clear, anybody that ever worked with the FBI, the street cops knew that the FBI looked down on them as, low-level security guards that didn't know shit because these guys mostly have degrees and, they're more academically esteemed and blah, blah, blah. And they've got the weight of the FBI's image, that carries some weight with people. People forget that these are just regular human beings, and they think, oh my God, the FBI, these are the gods of law enforcement. And because I'm so pro law enforcement, as you all know, I'm the last guy in the world who's going to badmouth law enforcement, unless you got a dirty cop or a dirty agent. And I've always said, even when the FBI had its trouble, I've always, thrown out the caveat that this has nothing to do with the field agents and the line people and blah, blah, blah. That there's every group of people. LAPD had its bad apples, and every department, every law, anytime you have power, you're going to get corruption and you're going to get people that abuse the power. I get it. But by and large, I didn't have an issue with the FBI in general, other than the fact that they were condescending when you talk to them as a city police officer. Let me calm down. So most of you have to be asleep if you don't know that I've been dealing with the South Africa thing and been very involved in trying to bring attention to the crisis in South Africa. And so because of that, I get a lot of requests and a lot of people that want help from South Africa, and I understand that, and I want to do what I can. Now, I'm the kind of guy that wants to stay 100% above the law. That's how I roll. I don't want to get caught up in shit because I was too ignorant to ask a question, or to do research. So some things came up and some things were asked, and my instincts were and are that before I even pursue anything like this, I'm going to run it by the FBI because I believe they handle this kind of thing. And I want to just ask a very simple question, a 3-second question, which is, here's what I've been asked to do, and I want to make sure that I'm staying above the law and I'm not accidentally or inadvertently breaking the law, because I'm not a lawbreaker. Now, you would think that would be pretty simple to do that. I would think so. It has been the most disgusting experience that I've had in a long time. As a rule, I record my phone calls. Not all of them, but when I'm doing any kind of thing that might backfire or I may need to keep it. So I record my calls. And look, everybody else records theirs, in terms of agencies. And the FBI will tell you, hey, we're recording your call. That's great. I live in a state where I can record the calls too. And I think it's prudent. It's just my memory is bad, and you know, it's just good to have that. So if I'm dealing with the water company or whatever, I do two things. I get the name of the person I'm speaking with, and I record the call. Now, when I was working at LAPD, if somebody was to call up and ask me my name, and I said I ain't telling you my name or my badge number, man, there'd be some trouble. But let's just take it from the beginning. And by the way, those of you know that I am hosting a South African family here, and we talk about South Africa all the time and how terrible it is there and how great it is here. So when I mentioned, hey, I'm going to give the FBI a call, that's a big thing to people coming from South Africa where the police won't even respond half the time, and when they do, they're the criminals. So I've been proud to show them how different our law enforcement is here, whether it's a cop driving down the street or, you know, the daughter talking to a cop, and, you know, they're just very amazed, and I'm proud that they don't have to worry about the police here. It's a difference between a shitty country and a country that has values and morals. That sticks in my throat after what happened today. So, of course, they're all, oh, wow, you're going to call the FBI. And I'm like, hey, look, man, the FBI, don't let that scare you. I mean, these are guys. These are human beings. They all take a shit just like you and me. And, you know, there's good ones, and most of them are great. And then there's some bad ones. But, you know, the FBI is the FBI. They're a law enforcement agency. You know, you see FBI and people freak out. So they wanted to come down and listen to the phone call. And I thought, yeah, let me show them how a first-class country, how their federal law enforcement operates. Man, I wish I didn't do that, man, because I was eating crow, and I still am. I'm so fucking embarrassed, man. And I'm pissed off, but I'm very embarrassed. I come down, now I'm looking at the timer on my, I record the call, and I hit record from the beginning, and I've dealt with this and was on hold and transferred and hung up on for over an hour and 10 minutes that I was blown off by the FBI, not just one office. I go on the internet, I call a field office in DC, and the first guy answers, and you know there's usually civilians that answer the phone, you know, and then you got to go through them to get to the agent. I get that. So I'm real polite. Hey, you know, this is what I got, and I'd like to talk to a field agent. I want to run something by and make sure that I'm staying above the law. So, guy comes back and he says something like, you know, you need to call. What kind of crime are you reporting? I mean, obviously, the guy didn't listen to me. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm not reporting a crime. I'm actually trying to prevent becoming involved in one and just making sure that I'm being prudent. And I give him a little bit of background, and he goes away, puts me on hold, comes back 10 minutes later, whatever. He goes, yeah, they advised you to call an attorney. I mean, I'm thinking, what? So, not to sound petty, but you know, they're an agency, they're a law enforcement agency, they're working for us, and I mean, you know, I hate to even say this because I used to hear people telling me this. Oh, I pay your salary. Our taxes pay their salary. I can't get one dude or girl to pick up the phone and just hear me out. Call a lawyer at $150 an hour. What the fuck? You know, I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't you want to work with a guy that's trying to do things the right way? So he wouldn't have it. Hey man, you know, call an attorney and then transfer me. Click. I'm on a hold forever, and it's the tip line. If you're reporting fucking computer fraud or blah 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 blah, and they're not answering the phone, man. That thing goes on and on and on. And so I hang up. I Google the FBI headquarters in DC. It's got to be better. You got to get some kind of action from the headquarters, you would think. They can't have idiots working there. Call up. And this is after 46 minutes of dealing with this and being on hold. Here's what I get from the first person I talked to. And you guys be the judge. I mean, was I being a dick here or what? I mean, you know, this is what I get.
For the next available representative.
Listen to that for like an unbelievable amount of time. All right, it's going to pick up in a second. I mean, an hour of this. And then, come on. on. Just bear with me. Come on. Here we go.
48 minutes.
Yep.
And counting.
And I got the whole family here listening to this. And I'm embarrassed that it's taken 49 minutes now.
Well, I let it get to 1 hour, and then I'm going to fucking deal with it tomorrow. From a complaint perspective.
Thank you for calling. Please hold for the next available representative.
Here it comes.
Maybe we should turn on the news. Maybe there's a fucking war going on. I don't know about it.
I mean, now I'm getting frustrated at this point,
They
obviously.
answered quicker on 9/11 than this shit.
Come on. Where is this shit? Hang on.
10 minutes, it'll be an hour. Hey, so I can go.
Here we go.
Hey, tell Bob to roll the louder.
What the hell? Hang on. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go.
FBI Washington Field Office.
Yeah, hey, who am I speaking with, please?
Can I get your name, please?
My name's Mike Weiss, Weiss. Unbelievable.
Okay, and what can I do for you?
Who am I speaking with, please?
I'm afraid we don't give our names out.
This is embarrassing. Okay, you're speaking to Mike Weiss, and now I would like to speak to a field supervisor.
Okay, do you have a complaint for the FBI?
I do now. I'm recording this call, and it's got a timer on it. I've been on hold for 58 minutes and 20 seconds, and every time I talk to somebody, they're either telling me, we don't give your names, call a lawyer. Nobody wants to hear me. It's impossible. And look, I'm retired LAPD, and I'm embarrassed that in front of my guest, I can't ask a field agent a question. I mean, you guys have no idea what I'm even trying to ask. And if you go to my Twitter, you'll see I'm tweeting it out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, FBI, is it impossible to talk to a human being? I mean, unless there's a war going on, why can't I have one agent with a cup of coffee? Did you hang up on? They hung up on me. It's unbelievable.
Thank you for calling the FBI.
Do you believe that?
You just got
She just clicked me
Yeah.
over.
'Cause-
So she clicks me over to the tip line, which is what the other dude did. So that's like the second time I've been clicked over to the tip line, which they don't ever answer the phone on that thing. You know, they don't have an operator number. They don't give you a name, and we all know what that's about. If I don't have your name, if I don't have to give a name and I'm working somewhere and you don't have any way to identify me, I can shit all over you. And that's exactly what she did. She shit all over me. Now, more time goes by, and I finally call the number again, and here's what we get.
Yeah.
Here we go.
FBI Washington Field Office.
Yeah. Well, you transferred me to the tip line. My name is Mike Weiss. I'm the guy that's trying to get to a supervisor. Is there a reason you're not going to do that for me?
Sorry, what can we help you with something today?
Yeah, I have a matter that involves law enforcement that I need to run by an agent. And, this is unbelievable. You're treating me like I'm some kind of an idiot here. Why would you transfer me without even saying anything?
Sir, can you tell us what you're looking to report?
I've told it to 3 people. They hang up on me. I've been to the tip line 4 times now, and nobody's interested in hearing what I have to say. And like I said, I'm not some guy behind a dumpster. I'm a tax-paying retired law enforcement officer and an ex-agent with an OIG in D.C. I've worked with you guys. I've trained you guys. I'm seriously embarrassed that you guys are treating me this way. I mean, I'm like the biggest supporter of law enforcement. You guys are embarrassed. I got a whole group of people standing here listening to this call. I'm ashamed of you guys.
Okay, well, sir, can you provide me with the information?
Well, you're the one that transferred me out of the blue when I was in the middle of a sentence. I mean,
Sir, I haven't transferred you. I'm
How would we know? They don't give their names.
happy to take the information from you if you'd like
Okay.
to report it.
By the way, she's going to transfer me out of the blue mid-sentence. Watch.
yes, okay. And again, in case you're not the right person, this whole thing's been recorded from beginning to end. I'm just letting you know that because I'm not done with this. But if you will listen to me, I will tell you. And again, now we're at exactly 61 minutes I've been trying to get to an agent. 61 minutes. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I mean, like I said, I was LAPD. I know what it's like to get complaints, but man, you guys this is not good. Would you like to hear what I'm trying to ask?
Yes, sir.
I am dealing with some people overseas in South Africa, and they are requesting something. And I don't want to take 2 hours to tell you the whole story, and then you transfer me to an agent, and I got to tell it again. I have a 3-second question for an agent, and I want to make sure that I'm staying above the law in dealing with this. And I'll tell the story to some low-level injured agent that's working desk duty. I just don't want to tell it to 3 operators and keep getting hung up on it. It's unbelievable. And if you're not willing to do that, how about a supervisor? I mean, are they that busy? Somebody that can hear the guy out. I mean, I think I've paid my dues for this country.
Doesn't say a word.
Me again. I'm probably going to the tip line.
Hello. Thank you for calling the FBI.
You believe this?
Yeah.
This is not a 911
Right to the tip line. Again.
emergency call.
You know, listen, I don't expect extra great treatment for anything. But, you know, I've been defending these guys for so long. You can see it on my YouTube channels. A lot of people talk shit about the FBI and about law enforcement in general. And, you know, that's the team that I've been on my whole adult life. And, you know, maybe things have changed. I mean, you know, I didn't always do the right or say the right thing, you know, when talking to people. And there was a price to pay. You know, if somebody complained because I did or said something that wasn't appropriate, you paid the price. These guys have obviously engineered it so that they're completely above reproach, man. There's no way to identify who you're talking to. They record you. They record everything. They get your number. They get your zip code when you call in. You got to punch in, so they can identify you. They can do everything that they need to do in order to fuck you if you need to be fucked. But God forbid somebody that has done everything legit. You know, I'm trying to do things right. I want to stay above the law. What if I just wanted to talk to an FBI agent about some mundane thing? Now, I know that they're too busy to talk about fishing. But what if there was a questionable thing that dealt with federal law? Are you telling me that there's just no way that they're going to drop whatever it is that they're fucking around with at the desk and pick up the phone and talk to some guy and answer a fucking question? And then if it turns out the guy's a nutcase, then you transfer him to the fucking nutcase line or the one that rings forever and ever, like the tip line. You know? The FBI doesn't waste any time pulling up to your house in Crown Victorias to take you to jail when you fuck up. But man, when you're trying to do the right thing, you see what I'm up against here. Am I, now, honestly, leave the comments, man. Am I overreacting? You know, and of course all the cop haters are going to love this. They're going to be like, oh, you get a little dose of what we get. Look, man, I'm a citizen, just like they're citizens. And, you know, these two, I think it was the same chick, but let's just pretend like it's 2 different chicks that click off on a guy without saying a word, and just cut you off, man. Those are the same people that get up in the morning, take a shit, and on their day off, they go to Walmart, and I bet they wouldn't stand for that kind of shit. But they're pumping it down the throats of citizens who fucking pay their salaries. And I'm going to tell you something, it's really fucking changed the way I look at things. Because this wasn't a one rude dude working for the FBI. This is the entire system that I dealt with for over an hour. And about an hour and 20 minutes, I dealt with it. And I dealt with different offices, different operators, and different people. And not one of them gives a flying fuck about what I have to ask or what I have to say. And, you know, I am so embarrassed in front of these people that were standing here. I'm humiliated. I'm embarrassed. And it's kind of hurtful. I hate to say it. You know, maybe I've been naive my whole life, but it's very hurtful to me that what is supposed to be the premier law enforcement agency is clearly staffed by a bunch of fucking idiots. And, you know, that's bullshit, man. That is just bullshit. I'm getting too pissed off to even think about it anymore. But I'm going to send this video out to you. Tell me what you guys think. Have you had experiences with the FBI? If you have, put them in the comments, man. At the very least, man, people ought to know, you know. And for you FBI agents that are monitoring the channel, I'm sure by now you are, or I hope so. I hope that you keyed in on the, you know, I'll put it in there, FBI as a keyword. And if you got some, you know, nerd that checks that stuff out and they move it up, I hope the fuck you figure out who I am and call me up and maybe ask the question, Maybe you're interested in what I have to say. I mean, at least hear me out instead of telling some fucking civilian, a guy at the front desk or wherever the fuck he is, to, the guy at the bottom of the totem pole, yeah, contact an attorney. Man, I never thought I'd hear that shit in my fucking entire life from the FBI, man. How disgusting. LMS Tactical. I hope you guys are doing good. Stay safe. I'm out.